Hey there, how you doing? My name is Krooked Glasses and I'm gonna show you how I do my marker sketches. I've been doing a lot of them because they are quick and easy and fun, and I believe they are the quickest and easiest and funnest. So first off, the kind of paper I use for these is the Pen Sketcher's Pad by B Paper. With this fucking amazing guy on the cover. Look at him go. He is so ready to get started on a thing that he wants to do. Woo! But our little hero aside, this paper handles markers exceptionally. It even handles the Chartpak markers really well. Those love to just bleed all over the place and stink up your work area with their inky blood smell. Like, if you haven't had a headache in a while and you really miss having them for some fucking reason, then those are the markers you want to use. You will be so happy. You will love them. Alright, so here's the guts to my Pen Sketcher's sketchpad. The orange marker by Loft is my favorite of the orange markers, and I need to have more orange-haired characters so I can draw them more and use it more. Logic. Oh, and of course, no sketchbook is complete without its fair share of bleeding all over the place. This is why I keep a scrap piece of paper behind every page I work on, because your marker's gonna bleed. The paper is great, but they're still gonna bleed. They're gonna go through that paper, and it's good to have something to catch all that colorful blood. Markers bleeding onto the other page ain't all that bad though, because you can use that for some grungy looking effects, actually, which I've been working on for a while now. Alrighty, so because I love it so much and I'm happy it's back, I'm gonna draw Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Love the character, love the show, it's one of my absolute favorites. And I think my sketchbook needs to be absolutely filled with Rick. So let's get sketching. Let's get this adventure started and make this a Rick episode. Gonna speed things up here. So you can't see them in the video, but I have references taped up on my window of Rick and characters and model sheets and cosplays and whatever, as well as a thumbnail sketch that I had already done earlier, so, you know, you guys wouldn't have to watch me sit here and try and think of an idea for like a whole hour. Most of my sketches I'll start off with a red Prismacol-erase pencil and a cute little eraser I got at a mall that, you know, erases decently. It actually works very well, it's just this paper doesn't want to like behave with pencil all the time. Can I say how much I love Rick and Morty? Can I? Alright, so I just love the show. I love all the characters. I love Morty, I love Rick, I love Summer, I love everyone. Oh, even the side characters are super great. The writing is fantastic. It's so fucking funny, and I love when it gets like psychological or emotional or just deeper than what most people who have just only glanced at it think it to be. I'm really digging the new season so far because it's got a lot of that in it while still maintaining its usual bold flavor of cartoon. One comparison I get that makes me really happy is I'm told that my Rick looks like Doc from Back to the Future. I don't completely see it myself, but I do think I should study the guy more so I can make him look more like him, cause I fucking love Back to the Future. I've seen those movies a dozen times and I could not tell you which one is my favorite. I love all three of them equally. In fact, I think that's what got me into Rick and Morty, was my love for Back to the Future, because look at them, Rick and Morty, Doc and Marty. Look at the pilot, which we will not discuss. Alright, so now on with the markers. For this sketch, I used the following brands of markers. Winsor & Newton, Loft, Copic, Chartpak, and maybe there was a pro marker in there somewhere? I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, so here are the deets on my marker sketching process. Instead of doing the sketch, line art, and then coloring, I'll do the sketch, coloring, and then line art, if you can even call it that sometimes. And this way you don't have to worry about smudging any ink, because sometimes there are some really cool pens and they aren't marker or waterproof and you really want to use them. Also, it just leaves a really nice look. You just have to be really careful that your sketch is clean enough to follow, or you've trained your brain enough to know where to put down everything, even if the sketch isn't completely right or reliable. The point of doing this though, besides, having fun, is to get an idea out without it taking too much time or effort and still making it look nice and awesome and presentable in the end. So that way if you're tight on time, like I was for a lot of the time back when I was first making this video and doing all these sketches, this is a really good way to get an illustration or idea or anything out and it really not take much out of you or your schedule. Be as quick and messy as you possibly can or want, and just make sure that your sketch is readable at the start. That is probably the one and only thing you really need to focus on in all of the process. So here I am, just adding in the flats, blocking in colors where I think color should be. Sometimes I get a little fancy and add some shading. I prefer to use the chiseled end of a marker because it's a lot quicker when it comes to filling in the flats. Chiseling, right? When I was younger, I used to think, who the fuck would ever use this? This is so useless. Why would you not want to use the brush tip? And now I just think, oh my god, if I don't have a chisel, then I'm gonna scream. Those of you who are familiar with my work know that it comes in two varieties. Either way too colorful, holy shit my eyes, insert unoriginal drug reference here, or not very colorful at all, until you notice the odd saturated color present here and there maybe. Maybe. Very hopeful maybe. For ease on the process and traveling, I tend to go with the latter for my marker sketches. And I will use either a nice and convenient pack of grayscale Artist Loft markers, or use a bunch of warm gray markers from various brands. The convenient little pack of Artist Loft markers seems to only come in neutral gray, but I prefer warm gray, and if they come out with a little pack of warm gray markers, man, I will buy those up immediately. But for now, gotta make do with the neutral. But there is an adjustment I made to the pack. The lightest gray in it is not very light at all. So what I did was I took out one of the darker grays that just seemed unnecessary to be there and made room for my N0 neutral gray Copic marker. Because Copic seems to be the only brand that gives a shit about making a gray that is light enough. All these companies are sitting around with markers that are like, hey, I'm a W1! I'm like, no you fucking aren't, don't lie to me, I know what you are, you're a W3. The hell was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, for the marker sketches, I try not to use too many colors. It's just more convenient that way, especially if I'm out and not at my desk where I can have a huge bundle of markers around me. And for this one, I was trying to decide, with all the grays, what other color should I add in there? And I figured blue. It should be blue. There's all this blue on Rick. He's a blue guy. But I had to figure out which kind of blue. And they ended up going with two different blues. First one being B01 Mint Blue and BG10 Cool Shadow. Those are the blues I used. And here's a little teeny tiny glimpse I'll leave in of me testing out the markers on my little marker test notepad. I use it to test out the markers. Gotta figure out which blue I want to use. And once those are all done and all the colors are right there on the page before my eyes, I add the ink. Sometimes I'll go straight to inking with a black pen, especially if it's felt tip, but my favorite thing to do, because I love saturation, is to use a red micron pen first, or partially, and then move on to using a black pen after. The hand here. I definitely fucked this one up. I think I was trying to follow the sketch too hard, which was made of a bunch of messy lines, and rather than thinking of what the hand should look like, I was relying too much on them lines, and came out really fucking weird. There's always something or some things, normally multiple things, that I do not like about whatever it is I've drawn, and I believe this hand right here is the thing I regret the most about this piece. But hey, gotta make the mistakes. Because of this, I remembered it. It's in my mind. The shame, the horrible shame of this fucking hand, and I haven't really made another mistake like it. Much. Shit, that's right, I also used a big-ass black pilot marker. Fuck, that's right, I forgot about that one. That one's new. Like, I don't know if it's new in the world, but it's definitely new in my collection. It smells just as bad as the Chartpaks. Can't see how I forgot it. And now comes the end, where I add all the nice little touch-ups and details and whatever else I want to add. I don't do it as much as I used to, because it really depends on what look you're going for, and I haven't gone for it much lately, because it can really make a picture look busier. But one of my favorite things to still do at the end is add the highlights and help separate parts of the picture using a Uni-ball Signo white gel pen. It's the best of the white gel pens, in my opinion. Little stars, shimmers, anything that overlaps that I think should stand out more, all of that gets the white gel pen treatment. And here I'm just freaking improvising. But hey, it came out good. It looks pretty cool, I think. Alrighty, so that's it for this sketch. I hope the recording and the voiceover were in-depth enough and the video was helpful to you. I'll probably be making more of these in the future, going over my other processes with painting, digital art, etc. I do a lot of things. I try to do a lot of things. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and don't just have a great day, but have a sparkling day. Goodbye!